Welcome back to another episode of the Self-Development with Tactics podcast, and today we are once again going to go through Breath by James Nestor or something, as if I remember, James Nestor, yeah. If I remember correctly, but I do not necessarily remember where I have stopped. James Nestor, there we go. Should be this. I hope it is good. I hope it is fine. I hope that I haven't finished the whole thing, because I actually don't really remember. I really do not remember. One thing that every medical whatever. An edge, he ran as fast as he could, holding his breath, take a few, blah 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 blah. I think this is actually where I've stopped. They discovered that the optimum amount of air we should take in a dress per minute is 5.5 liters. The optimum breathing rate is about 5.5 breaths per minute. That is 5.5 second inhales and 5.5 second exhales. This is the perfect breath. Page 104, if you wonder. Toomey heated the body and opened up the brain's pharmacy, flooding the bloodstream with self-produced opioids, dopamine and serotonin. Serotonin. All that with just a few hundred quick and heavy breaths, which heavily reminds me of Wim Hof breathing, which basically is 30 breaths in, then holding it for as long as you can, and then exhaling. But all the breaths are relatively short, but really, really, really fucking deep. So it's like, and so on and so forth. So to actually get as much oxygen into your body as you possibly can, on one hand, on the other hand, you're basically creating an alkaline environment for your body, quite somehow, something like that. Which is great. It's good. Yeah. I've tried it several times indeed, and I have always quite enjoyed it. It is one habit though that I was really not able to consistently do, just because I wasn't just able to. I don't know why. It's actually it takes quite some time to do it multiple cycles long. So 30 breaths in is one cycle, then exhale, actually holding it and then exhaling, and so on and so forth. And normally you should be doing this for 3 cycles. 3 cycles, I think, are gonna take you like 30 minutes or something. It really depends on your breath. It really also depends on how long you're holding it. But holding it when you're holding it for 4 minutes, let's say 4 minutes each, which is already 12 minutes just holding your breath, and 4 minutes isn't that much, to be honest. I think my best was 3 minutes, 3.5 maybe, something around these just lines, I guess. I don't really remember, but I think it's been something like that. But it is very interesting. It is very, very fucking interesting to see what your body is capable of doing and what your body is capable of withstanding. Because who fucking knows that you're able to hold your breath for such a long time just because you have, quote unquote, gained so much oxygen before. But yeah, interesting, amazing, and cool, and great, and whatever. But yeah, men mainly in their 20s who'd suddenly been diagnosed with arthritis and psoriasis or depression, who weeks after practicing heavy breathing no longer suffered any symptoms. 20,000 others in Hof's, there we go, Wim Hof, the Iceman, community exchange blood work data and other metrics of their transformations online. Their before and after results confirmed their claims. Some of these people were reducing inflammatory markers, C-reactive protein, 40-fold within just a few weeks. To practice Wim Hof's breathing method, start by finding a quiet place and lying flat on your back with a pillow under your head. Relax the shoulders, chest, and legs. Take a very deep breath into the pit of your stomach and let it back out just as quickly. Keep breathing this way for 30 cycles. Okay, it is a cycle in a cycle quite. I would say actually 30 rounds. Well, never mind. If possible, breathe through the nose. If the nose feels obstructed, try pursed lips. I see. Well, Wim Hof himself is actually always doing it through his mouth. So I don't know. I've actually also only did it through the mouth. But yeah. Each breath should look like a wave with the inhale inflating the stomach, then the chest. You should exhale all the air out in the same order. At the end of 30 breaths, exhale to the natural conclusion, leaving about a quarter of the air left in the lungs. Then hold that breath for as long as possible. Once you reach your breath hold limits, take one huge inhale and hold it another 15 seconds. Very gently move that fresh breath of air around the chest and to the shoulders, then exhale and start the heavy breathing again. This is actually a bit more detailed than what I was used to, which may or may not actually be making things better or easier or just, more interesting. I don't fucking know. But actually, maybe even just the opposite. But yeah. Up to 80% of office workers, according to one estimate, suffer from something called continuous partial attention. We will scan our email, write something down, check Twitter, and do it all over again, never really focusing on any specific task. In this state of perpetual distraction, breathing becomes shallow and erratic. Sometimes we don't breathe at all for half a minute or longer. The problem is serious enough that the National Institute of Health has enlisted several researchers, including Dr. David Anderson and Dr. Margaret Chesney. So Anderson and Chesney, to study its effects over the past decades. Chesney told me that the habit, also known as email apnea, can contribute to the same maladies as sleep apnea, which is common in bodybuilders due to steroid abuse. So enhanced bodybuilders, I do really want to clarify that. But it is something actually that happens relatively often, unfortunately, but it does happen. Meuret, I guess, Meuret, crunched the data and found that panic, like asthma, is usually preceded by an increase in breathing volume and rate and a decrease in carbon dioxide. To stop the attack before it struck, subjects breathed slower and less, increasing their carbon dioxide, which is quite the opposite of what Wim Hof is trying to do. He's trying to get as much oxygen into the body as possible. I think with that being said, I'm actually going to end the episode. It's not that of a long one, but it, also shouldn't necessarily be. If you're really interested in Wim Hof, there probably are several podcast episodes on him and his techniques and whatnot, and some experiences. But yeah, up until then, I'm going to see you the next time. So, bye-bye.